I have always maintained on this channel that the future of technology largely relies on three key things. That is data science, machine learning, and artificial intelligence. Even though to most of the beginners, they kind of think of a nightmare when it comes to these key three words I'm talking about. I would like to break them down in a simple way that you can understand before I take you through a small project that I'll showcase and show you how you can solve problem using these kind of technologies. Now, first and foremost, if you've not subscribed to our channel, make sure you subscribe to our channel because it's only on Codestar Technologies where you can get great videos like this one. Now, when you think about artificial intelligence is not new words to most of you. In most cases, most of you, if you are like, if I was randomly to ask any of you, like, what is artificial intelligence, you'll talk about a machine that can be able to make make decision by itself without any human interference or interaction, something like that. And I can say yes, that's true. But in this case, now you need to ask yourself, how is this machine capable of making decision? In any scenario where something or someone has to make a decision, they must have learned much about, or they might need to have experience of how things work. And in this case, you take yourself back to where this system, such kind of a machine where the development starts. We need to gather data. Once we collect that data, we need to clean that data. Once you clean that data, now you can be able to use that data to make decision. The same way, you can't expect like a kid to make a decision like a grown-up. They have to go through a process to learn a few things here and there before they can get to a point where they can make decision on their own. So in this case, that's why you can see like government, it will always give you ID when you get to at the age of 18. They consider you as a grown-up. So in this case, similar to machines, you have to find as where you can get data which needs to be used by this machine. So once you collect that data, make sure you clean that data. Once you clean that data, so that machine, because at the end of the day, you know, garbage in, garbage out. Once you clean the data, now you can start using the data and creating algorithms that can help this machine now start learning from the data. And when you hear about these algorithms, in most cases, people tend to get afraid because they don't understand, because they can't relate, like how come a machine can be able to learn like a human being. And we forget that when you are like in campus, like most of you, maybe if you're fourth year, that year, or even maybe because some of the topics were done in high school, like statistics is something that we started from there. Then we came, I think most of you have interacted with the linear programming. There is this naive Bayes kind of stuff. It's not your first time to hear about that. K-means and all those kind of stuff. Those kind of topics are covered when you are taking mathematics, and mathematics is a compulsory unit for all of us. So in this case, those are the same algorithms that we normally use to kind of develop a programming algorithm that can help the systems maybe now start learning from the data that we have gathered. And after that, after some times, now the machine is able to kind of make decisions which are more complex. Now, I did a video like this one before where I talked about it was a simple project where it's kind of a system like a YouTube, which has got video content. And now, in this case, the machine is able to suggest the best videos for us, for someone who has created a specific account. Like, for example, when you get to YouTube, if you open YouTube, by default, it normally generates some content which you're supposed to watch. And in most cases, this content is based on maybe what you've watched previously. Also, sometimes YouTube kind of monitors what you keep on watching frequently, what you like watching, something like that. And sometimes if you are a new person, based on the account, like for example, if a kid, they will go for cartoons and all that kind of stuff. There is a certain age where they can predict maybe this, they would like music and all those kind of stuff. So these kind of systems that I'm talking about, they are possible because in most cases we develop this system in a way that systems can be able to learn from the data that we have gathered. So this is one of the projects that I was talking about, and you can see there is a programming in Python. I also did another project about face recognition, a system which can be able to recognize the face of a particular person. And I happened to run this system and used different kind of photos, maybe like my photos which I did back in either 5 years ago, and others which I, yeah, something like that, because obviously there might be that there is always that big difference, and they worked perfectly. It's something that you can try. Just watch and you'll find the source code even at the description of those videos. I most likely, in most cases, you'll find that I normally leave the source code of this kind of whatever system that I do at that point. So that's why I always keep on telling you that you need to subscribe to this channel if you've not subscribed. If you have your friends there in campus, college, universities, and so forth, you need to tell them about this channel. Make sure they subscribe, they like our videos, share to as many people as you can. Now, some of the systems that can be you can relate to now that they use data science, machine learning, artificial intelligence techniques, and so forth are, like for example, if you think of a system like this one, which it can be applied in Netflix. So like how Netflix suggests movies for you based on a particular, how do you call it, kuna zile specific movies like you will like watching, so it keeps on suggesting those movies for you, or series for that matter. The same way we have got YouTube, it does the same thing. When it comes to marketing, like for the Google, Facebook, and so forth, you realize that ukiangalia tu ploti leo, kama unataka kununua kaploti, that week yote, you'll find that whenever you are scrolling on YouTube, Facebook, you'll see those pop-ups of maybe some advertisements relating to either if you wanted to buy a shoe, if you wanted to buy a land, if you, yeah, they'll keep on targeting you because YouTube keeps track, not YouTube, but Google keeps track of whatever you do on your phone. And in that case, they use that data to maximize on marketing. There is another one which can be used by bank for spamming, and a lot of system which you can build, and they can enable the lives of either institutions or people to make them far much better. So feel free to go through our channel and you'll learn a lot. Now back to our today's video, and today I wanted to show you a simple system which is using this technology, and because you can see it's a system which where you're given a data, and this data now you extract the best customer. It's data which comes from a lending company, a company that lends money to people. Like for example, nowadays tuko na hustler fund, pia itatumia this kind of algorithms. It's something that you can share with them, so there will be that high demand of this kind of services. They'll come up, like when you know, wherever you go to any organization, this is what we're going to be the demand of developers. It's no longer going to be just creating a crude system that can generate reports here and there and all that. No, you have to advance to a level that now the system can be able to learn from the data that it has on the database. Now, this was the question. If I can see, you can see, and I did the question here. This is the code which is written in Python, and also the data which we are going to test together. So let me take you through. The question is a lot of work at lendable companies, in that case, goes into figuring out reliably our clients, customers pay down their loans. Our clients or customers pay down their loans. Now, we have noticed that customers that pay regularly, even if only in a relatively small increment. tend to eventually pay completely. We like these customers. Your task here is to identify them. Just that simple. This lendable company or this lending company, it's saying that it needs to look for these customers who, once they borrow a loan, they keep on changing, like paying in that case. Like for example, when you mmekopa, if it is Hustler Fund, you realize that you have to lend small by small piece. Unakuja unaanza kulipa pole. That way now your credit score inaendelea kupanda juu. So in that case, this is how you can achieve this kind of stuff. Now you are being told to write a function that takes two arguments. Remember, two arguments. You need two parameters. First, you can call them whatever you want. You are given the advantage of calling whichever name that you want. Then we will refer to them, in this case, they are saying that in this case, they are going to refer to them as transaction underscore CSV file path. This one is going to get the CSV file which contains the data of which we are going to use for our computations. Now, and remember in this case, we have got our three data, sets of data. So we can test with either 1, 2, or 3, any of those data. So the next thing, the first argument transaction, I'm sorry, we talked about two arguments. One is the path of the CSV file, and the second one is n. Now, the first argument, transaction path, is a string indicating the location of the CSV file. That one is what I've said. Now, containing transaction data. There are 3 examples of transaction data files in this. There is a CSV 1, 2, and 3. The second argument, which is now n, that we talked about here, because the system needs to get to, or the program, or whichever script you can call it, it's going to get 2 variables, which now the n1 is an integer. And what is the work of this integer? The integer, your function should return IDs of the best n. So n, if we are talking about here, you enter 4, you return 4 IDs of the best customers of that transaction data, of the data that you've provided. We extract from that. So you are given the data, specify you need how many best customers. I need 5 or I need 10. In this case, if I need 10, now the system or the algorithm is going to be able to extract this data. So previously we said that these customers are the ones who normally pay frequently, or they pay what? Let me remind you. I want to remind you about that part. The customers who pay regularly, that is the word, are the ones which we are referring to them as the best. So the function should return their IDs. So if you say 5, you need 5 of the IDs of the best customers who keep on paying regularly. For this exercise, we say that the best customers is the one that has the longest period of payment in this case. So if you paid for the longest period, then it means now you are the best customer, because it means if you keep on paying like today, tomorrow, and so forth. So it means like you have got a long number of payments that you've, long list of the payments that you've made, of consecutive daily payments. Now, the second best is the one with the second longest period. I think that one you get. Now there is you can use whatever language or tool etc would like to order to implement this. So if you feel like using Java, well and good. If you feel like using C++, well and good. There is also another programming language like JavaScript if you want to use PHP, if you want to use Python, and so forth. So I'll show you, because as you've seen, in my case I used Python. So be clear to make sure that we can run your code. So in this case, so long as your code is good to go, I hope they will be able to run. Now, notes. We say consecutive daily payments. We mean that there is at least one payment in a day, something like that, if I'm not wrong. Transaction per consecutive calendar day. That is what they mean. Whenever you say longest period consecutive, that is And now, blah, 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 there is a lot. In case we will pass this data and do. So now we have solved our problem. Like, for example, they are saying that they are giving you an example. Like, for example, if you give the path to be the first file, then we expect to get this one as the first, as the best customer. If we say one customer. So if we give this one, CSV path 2, I think, to be the path of the data that we are checking, then we get this one to be the name. And third, if we are giving the path to be this one, then we expect this one to be the results. So that's what we are going to do. We are going to run the system, the program, but first of all, I'd like to show you the data, how it looks like. Let me open the third data. We open like this one is a CSV. So this being a CSV, this one I can click there to enlarge like this, yeah. So you can see I've got the account numbers, the amount that they are paid. So amount that they are paid, it's not a problem. The problem is if you paid, even if you paid one bob, they consider you to be a good customer because you did forgot to make payments, even if you received or you've made a small amount of money, but you are serious in whatever you do. That is what they consider. Now there is the date that you paid and the time and so forth. So in this case, we need to extract all the numbers. And remember, the numbers are going to repeat it. Like, for example, if C210, if they make payments here, you can pay, maybe they made another payment here, another one, something like that. So we need to get these ones and count the payments. So maybe you can do this one in Excel. It's something which is simple. And in most cases, I always keep on telling you that you don't need to have those big great tools that you think, like writing algorithms that can shake this world so that you can become a good IT professional, something like that. You can use the simplest available tools that they can help you solve problems. So in case this one, if you are working and you want to solve this kind of problem, the best tool that you can use, you can try to use Excel. There are guys who can use SPSS. I'm quite familiar with SPSS. I've taught SPSS several students. Then we have got what else? There is now the R programming language, which is good for data science and machine learning. And there is also Python, which I consider it is the leading when it comes to data science and machine learning, even though R is largely designed for data science and machine learning. Also, we have got MATLAB, which also you can use. But I like Python because Python, it has got readily available resources which you can utilize. Now, the first thing you need to know, you need to have is your Python installed on your machine, and you install the required modules that you need. For those who don't know how to install modules, you can get in touch. I can show you, but it's something which is simplest. Like, for example, the same way if you've interacted with Node.js, you know how to install using Node package manager. We have got also, so in Python we normally use pip install. In Node it's npm. When it comes to PHP it's composer. Yeah, this relates these ones to this one. So now you can see here I'm using a module called pandas. So my system, my PC is installed with Python, and I have pandas in my case. In most cases, there are people who will either use Jupyter Notebook or maybe Anaconda and those kind of stuff. But I don't like it because sometimes it slows down my machine. I'm good to go if I install specific modules that I feel like I can work with. Like data science, I like working with pandas. Pandas is obvious because you have to do data cleaning and all those kind of stuff. So this is the one that does that kind of work. Uh, this deals with data. But if you talk about the machine learning kind of algorithms, you talk about scikit-learn. There is NumPy and all those kind of stuff you can use. Now, so here I have imported my pandas modules, and I have a function called loyal customer, and the function ends at this point. So in this case, n, I want to input the number of customers whom I want. Remember, I was told to insert n. Then we have got the CSV file that I have to kind of work with. So in this case, I've fed data CSV number 3, file number 3. So in this case, I expect this one to give me the results, like as you can see, as this one. So you can see here there is a loyal customer file, and I've given this one, so it is going to print the results and give me the customer who is the best customer. So now let me take you through the function. So the function, I have a dictionary which I've defined, and I have got the dictionary. I'm going to read the dictionary, which means I'm reading this file. And first of all, sorry, I forgot to tell you that the function accepts two parameters, the file name and the n. So dictionary is this one, and this is how you read a CSV file using pandas. So you read a CSV file. Once I read that CSV file, I'll find that it has got several columns. So in this case, I'm interested with IDs for the customer. So I want to extract each and every ID of specific customer. I know, as I said, a column might, you might find that we have got customer account number, which is account number 001, and it can be repeated in multiple times. So in that case, I want to extract only distinct, unique IDs for each customer and put them to a list. So that is what it's doing. So in this case, now this extract the customers who have, I check on the data frame, which is the CSV file. I'll find there is a column, and this column I just need to extract only the customers' IDs for every customer, and I insert them to a list like that. So I have a list. Inside this list, I'm going to loop, and when I loop, I check the customer ID on this data frame I locate. If the customer exists, now I count. I add the customer to the count. So I'm counting the number of times that the customer payment has appeared in that list. So once I do that, I add the number to, there is the dictionary code IDs, which I insert the customer. Like for example, if it's account 001, you'll say account 001 has appeared for 5 times, something like that. So this is what that code, that is what it's doing. Now we get to the next one, which is now sorting, so that I can get the best customer. And once I sort, now I can get to this one where now I can display the results. So these are simple things that you can check, just few lines of code, and I solve the problem. I'm good to go. So how am I going to run this one? Let me maximize on this one. Then I click on run. That way, it is giving me import pandas as PD. Sorry. So pandas is not installed. Maybe I can do the installation even faster. So to install pandas, you guys read CMD. Then once you write CMD, you press enter. It's good, at least we encounter this kind of problems so that you can see how it works. So my Python is installed on this folder called C, and you can see there is the folder for Python. So I want to get inside Python and get inside this folder called script. So how do I get there? You write cd Python like that. Then I can write Python. I can write Python / scripts. Press enter. You can see I got to the script. Then I can say pip install pandas. So long as I'm connected to the internet, is something that it can do very fast. You can see it is loading very fast like that to install that module which is needed to execute this kind of stuff. And that's how easy it is. So that's how you install even modules. It's good that this one has occurred. I thought I was using the correct machine, but this is a laptop which I've not installed all the modules that I always require when it comes to running this kind of stuff. So I think it's up to that point. It's installing. It has to give me a success. Satisfied. Now click run, shift 5, blah blah blah. I just click OK this one, and I expect it to execute and give me the result. So one thing about data science and machine learning, you need to have a high-speed machine to process this kind of information. As we said, here it's asking me to enter number of customers to display. So in this case, I'm going to here, and let me jump right away to, it was where? The question was under what? Python projects. I want to see, okay, it's supposed to be 3 if I'm not wrong. Projects, then this one. So I'm expecting to get 3. So this is the question. If I input data to be 3, I expect to get this one as the result. So I need n to be 3. So I can come here, where is it? And insert 3 like that. If I press enter, I expect to see these 3 customers. Let's see whether they are the same customer that we were talking about. So you can see 70, 30, 08 at the end, that is the 08, and 50. So that one is correct. We can run another one using this one. So we expect this one to be 2. So how do I change that one? Have I closed that one? Yes. So how do I change? I come here and 2, and I run again. Shift F5, click OK, and it is executing kama kawaida, because if it has got a lot of data, it has to take time. If you have machine like it's using it doesn't enough RAM, you're going to face challenges. So 2, press enter, and 2, I was expecting, was it 1 answer? So I entered N2 and I got this one. So I think I missed, if I'm not wrong, there is something that, no, sorry, let's see. Yeah, it has given me the 2 of them. So I think it's only delay. It delayed showing this one. So that one is correct, and that's how you can extract the best customers in an organization, just by writing a small lines, a few lines of code. And think of this organization if it was building a system which it's going to be deployed on the server, and like Asla Fund. Let's give an example of that, like Asla Fund. So if this kind of system needs to get information and give loans to the best customers who are lending or who are making payments frequently, this is the best scenario you can approach this kind of stuff, and you are good to go. So the beauty about these things is that um, technology keeps on changing each and every time. Things are getting simpler, and also I know you've heard about this thing called OpenAI. That is Open Artificial Intelligence. In most cases, maybe if I talk about OpenAI, in other words, I'm referring to the chat GPT that people are talking about on the internet. So I was checking, but it said that we are experiencing exceptionally high demand. Please hang tight as we scale up our system because people are demanding. So I saw some people who are afraid about this thing. It's something that I would say, like, you don't need to be afraid of, because what it does is like it acts similarly like how Stack Overflow acts. Because when you get to a Stack Overflow, you have to search the question, then check. Once you check, now you kind of interpret information personally by yourself. And I would say that, yeah, it is kind of hard, but it's one way of simplifying these things. So it's kind of, it is taking the role of things like Stack Overflow. There are some things that artificial intelligence or the machines cannot do, and in that case, it is to interpret which is the best code and which is not. Like even a small parameter, if it is passed wrong, then it's going to have some issues. So in that case, don't be afraid. You can try it out. In my case, it is not accepting to tests because I think imekasirika, watu wanaitumia sana, and that is it. So take time, learn about these things. Just start with the basic tools like MS Excel. You can interact with something like SPSS, do some correlation, We have got regression, which you can also do with SPSS. It is simplified. All these things that are done on Python, data science and machine learning and artificial intelligence. Most of them you will find them in Excel. It's only that in Excel you can, I don't know whether you can do data training, but in Python you can train data, something like that. So it becomes an advantage. But there must be a way. Excel is a very, very powerful tool. But now, if you have to implement it on a server, then you have to think outside the box, which is now working with Python, or you can choose R programming language or MATLAB. But in this case, either working with Python will be easy because most of the servers they normally support Python, and you'll be able to deploy your code there. And it's going to, maybe you can use it for marketing, for checking spam messages or content which might come to your requests that might come to your system, and all those kind of stuff to make your system secure, and even to scale up in a way that now you can maximize on profit and all those kind of stuff using data science and machine learning. My friend, it has been a long video, and I hope you've learned something. So kindly make sure you subscribe, share the video to as many people as you can, and see you in the next one. I'm going to share the source code on the description section together with the query, together with the data set, which you can use. But for those who might need more data science, to which you can use, there is a site called Kaggle. Is it Kaggle? Something like that. Which you can, sorry, yeah, but anyway, it's true. Is it, you can get a lot of data sets which you can play out with. And if you need more questions about data science and machine learning, I'll be sharing more. At least you just need to learn 2, 3, 4, 5 techniques which you can use to 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 play around with and come up with amazing kind of systems which can work. Nowadays, people are jumping all around, creating bots and so forth. Yes, these bots they normally assist. People are selling these bots, but it's just few lines of code which people coming out like za kupredict bet wale uanga mna bet. Kuna wale wanafanyanga sijui something to do with how do we call it, foreign exchange or foreign trading, something like that. Yeah, those kind of stuff. So it's not those kind of stuff, it's not something that I would recommend you to jump right away and kind of assume like this bot is going to give you the correct. Yes, sometimes it will, sometimes it will not. There is that human interaction. You need to interact with it and give more insights that maybe it is not capable of giving, because in most cases we get these odds from specific sites. Once you get the odds, sometimes they bet their fact based on previous games that they were played, and sometimes you have to consider like maybe those players who played that game are not the same who are in that in this case, or maybe someone has injuries and so forth. There are other things that you need to consider before we accept, but it's something that it's good to consume, to try using and see whether it's going to be an amazing thing. So thank you guys. See you on the next video. I know you have enjoyed watching this kind of stuff, and have a great time. Thank you.